Just make sure you tune to the RPX. Stay dropping jewels all on the airways. Keep sitting 100 like every single day. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RPX. Stay dropping jewels all on the airways. Keep sitting 100 like every single day. RPX. Yeah, just the RPX where you can sit back and catch a vibe at. But your mind gotta be open like a surgeon with a scalpel. Mixed with the tips that can help with the mental, also the spiritual, and even the physical. The way she break it down, you don't need a visual. Always keep it fair and also critical. Everything is clear, ain't no need for subliminals. Growth is essential. The love is not rental. You might be perplexed, but it's so simple. If you wanna know how you can interact, just hit the IG or the clock of where it at. So come get involved. It don't even cost. Just hit the DM if you need to talk. So all my good people out there, stay blessed and make sure you tune in to the RPX. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RPX. Stay dropping jewels all on the airways. Keep sitting 100 like every single day. This ain't no shade, this ain't no flex. Just make sure you tune to the RPX. Stay dropping jewels all on the airways. Keep sitting 100 like every single day. RPX.
Chill. I just said I got the motivation to be awesome.
Awesome. You can look. The alphabet. They decided to put a couple of letters from this and that and made that. You can add
Why not?
I mean,
it's like better than, like Fresher did that. Fresher came into Glockaware and they're like, interviewing and whatever, talking about like, he's like, so what was your name? Did you ever have the other names? He's like, well, Fresh, but then everyone was kind of fresh. So what's fresher than fresh? Fresher? Like, okay.
I have a friend named, his last name's Fresher, Tommy Fresher.
Mm-hmm.
And he fresh with the lyrics. I don't know how else to put it. There's not that many words. What, clean, organic. I don't know what else to say. If you fresh, you fresh. So we talk about fresh. We're talking about money, the money element, the earth element, what you value. And when you think of money, some people be like, yeah, you'll get the picture of people holding that big roll or that wad of money like, this is, you ain't fresh as I is. Lil Wayne said that. So we're basically trying to find out how value or how money takes a tendency to make value for your life. And what I mean by that is certain people will value based on how you look externally. Some people will base it on internally. I'm spiritually abundant. I have that flow. I have that cosmic energy, and we think about
abundance
money.
Is different for everybody. But before we even get into that, y'all listen to the X Radio here on Glockaware, where you can find us every Thursday night at 6 p.m. And you know what? First of all, I'm Rosie Porter, your host, and my girl Ania Mahogany over here.
Dropping them seeds.
Absolutely. She is my guest co-host for the month of June. And we've been talking about all the elements, and this week is Earth. And of course, a lot of people equate that to money. It's materialistic things. If you are listening, go ahead to YouTube. You can be a voyeur, check us out, see what we got on, critique us, make some friggin' noise on the chat. Go over to Glockaware. Go over to YouTube, type in Glockaware, and hit the live link for the X Radio. Now, back to you, girl.
Yes, my bad. I just dropped right into it. I'm like, look, they know what time it is.
Yeah, they should know what time it is.
Time is very precious. It's of the essence.
Time is money. That's what they say, right?
It is. And speaking of that, they were saying that, originally it was called currency before there was ever any type of money. They were trading cattle. They said, look, I got 4 goats.
Not just that, right? Like, they had herbs, spices.
Oh yeah, salt was number one. That was definitely a number one. But that's what they say. That's where you get salary from, because of actually salt. So it's kind of like you have those, of course. And then we have money. One of my songs you can definitely find on all your major platforms. But one thing about it is, like, we had shells too.
Yeah, shells.
The Corey shell said, I I'm wearing money in my hair. People even know. Don't rob me though. Don't rob me.
Yeah, you can get your own shells. I'll even buy them for you.
Okay, get your own shells.
You want shells? We got shells.
Just tying it back to like there was a time when we were just walking around with silver and gold, and it just got too heavy. We got Mansa Musa. He was one of the great emperors, a great king. He had so much money, he was just dropping it, was falling everywhere. So it's like nowadays we have taken fiat, which is our dollar, and we have made it become like we created the energy for it so it can be that powerful. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what do we value nowadays? Because one person could say $1,000 is everything to them. You all got to stack real quick. You know, somebody else could be like, you know, I could go shopping with that and lose it in 15 minutes. So it's like
somebody else could just value peace of mind or value, you know, going to sit somewhere quiet. Other people want that excitement. Some people want the money. The money doesn't excite some people.
So we got some money myths. So number one, money is the root of all evil. Is money the root of all evil, or is it a person that looks at that money and say, you know what, I can't get this, I can't afford it, they associate it with being evil? What do you think? Money is the root of all evil.
I think greed. You know, because that's why a lot of people do things to get advantages of currency. Yeah. You know, it's greed. And there are ways to go about it, but, you know, you got to be harmonious with the universe. Yeah. And to make it a positive karmic experience.
I think it's also ignorance. If you say it's evil, how is it evil where it could save a little child that's going through having sickle cell anemia or having cancer and it save her life? Or a lot of people that's out on the street, they take certain money. I think it's the intention behind it. Like if I take this and be like, you know, I have leftover money, I got to pour it back into my community by starting a nonprofit or cleaning up or whatever it is. It's the intention behind it. You know what? I'm gonna take this, go over there, flip this, you know what I'm talking about. So the second one is basically rich people are rude, they're arrogant, they're stuck up. What do you feel about that myth right
that's
there?
not always true. Yeah. Sometimes it is true. Yeah. Like some people really do have arrogance if they have excess. But I've met plenty of people. They're just very humble and generous. So it depends.
I feel like just as you got some douchebags out there that have abundance, you got some poor rude people that'll be ready to work down on you when like you say hello or whatever the case is. Like, oh, excuse me, what you saying? So it's just like you got the understand. You got good and you got bad in both situations, both scenarios. It's just once again, it's the intention behind it, because the person that could be like, you would never think that is homeless or doesn't have money, they'll come in and it's their energy that gives off the abundance, or it gives off like the true essence. Like that's what we got to realize. Currency is energy originally, so you set the tone of what you have. You know, I'm not going out here and say, oh, I'm a dream chaser or I'm doing this. Why am I chasing it? Is it running away from me? Right. It better not. It's running away from me, maybe let me sit still and let the money chase me. Maybe that's what I need to say. I think it's more of how you set the tone. And don't get me wrong, certain people have that goal mentality or that frequency to keep going and get it, but after a while it's just like having too much of it. Eventually it's going to pull back. So the next one is filthy rich, filthy stinky rich. I mean, if I'm filthy stinky rich, or if somebody put that in like a filthy, they're just careless with their money, I'm just tossing it over here.
But I mean, if you got you know, money long like that and you want to do that, Is that a crime? It's yours. You earned it, right? Did you earn it, or was it given to you?
See,
like, what are the circumstances? Because I guess that would matter, right?
I guess that would be the situation, because in that, if I'm coming from a family that worked hard for it, and I have a grandchild or a granddaughter that has taken all of the hard work and she put it into something and she splurged like that, okay, of course. But if I've had taken something that has not only like lowered the frequency of the community, but made it kind of worse. And then I feel like karma's gonna bite you in your ass eventually, because at the end of the day, it's just like God gave you this lifetime to actually be abundant, financially. Some people are spiritually abundant where they don't need anything, like your Buddhas or your shamans and stuff like that. But in certain cases, like I guess it's the intention again. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and then of course it comes down to, are you grateful?
That's true as well.
Are you grateful? If you're grateful and you are grateful for everything you have, from, waking up in the morning to your accessories and toys in the driveway, your home, all that kind of stuff, you're grateful, you're thankful, like, it's just that's that healthy cycle that continues to bless you.
Giving Thanksgiving, not just on one day when you rotisserie and you put in the turkey in the oven and it's rotisserie and everything like that. No, it's I realize the more that I give thanks, or the more that I knock out that negative frequency in the morning time, it actually uplifts me in a way that it's just like, whoa, if I didn't do that next following day, everything's just off. So it's just like, yeah, gratitude is number one, because it's just like I was like, I'm thankful for my ancestors being this strong. I'm still here. Like, I'm still blessed. I'm still alive. We're still abundant. And I think we have a tendency to always want everything so fast paced, and understand like when money is stacked up at times. So maybe mentally that needs to happen as well. Going to the fourth money myth or taboo. It's all about the deals, cheapskates. Like, okay, I saw this deal. And the deal is basically saying that, okay, you get $100 of groceries at a significant store that's really abundant, opposed to going to a restaurant and spending $100 on one meal. So a lot of people look at it like, you know what? I don't even want to go out like to experience the whole, because I feel like you have to have a balance. Yeah, you can eat at home, but there's times where you need to need to dress up, you need to get dolled up, you need to see and taste different things.
Everything, some things are not as important to others.
Right.
However, if that's your lane and you want those things, like, you're going to have to either save up. If you don't have it like that, save up and treat yourself, because that's part of self-care.
But I found like a lot of like, even like my grannies and like family members, they would be like, I'm gonna just stack up this, and I have this coin chest, and once it fills up and stuff like that, I'll take it to the bank, and eventually God is going to do this. And I feel like, no, I think it starts basically on like being grateful about certain things. Like, you can't say, oh, I don't have this, because you won't ever have this. You have to realize we are on that. We're in the
spell.
We're right, but we're in the rim where a lot of things like come abundantly. Especially, I feel like more of the negative stuff happens, a tendency to bite you more in the ass. So it's just like, yeah, there's people that I know that will do the extreme couponing, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful to the point where I'm like, oh my God, you got all that for? But they took the time out to cut this out and look for this deal and da-da-da-da. So that takes a lot of time out. But I'm just saying, like, there's highs and lows to being a cheapskate, because it's just like, yeah, you want your kids to be able to expand, have a different, like, oh, I had sushi. Or, you know what, I ate, couscous. Or, I had,
And that's basic. Couscous is so basic.
But a lot of people wouldn't know the quality of certain things. They just, certain people just are ignorant. They know fried rice. They might not know couscous. They might not know hummus. They might not know, chickpea masala. It's certain things that I'm just saying, like, the palate needs to experience. But at the same time, it's about you taking the time out. And I know growing up when I was younger, like, okay, we didn't have everything, but going to Rehoboth Beach or going to like a beach where we prep and everything, that was a whole experience, because I know a lot of my friends, they were like, oh, I'm gonna be at the Boys and Girls Club this summer, and that's it. So just taking the time out to just to drop certain seeds in your tribe's like eyelids, so they can understand, like, it's more than just a corner store, just getting that. Don't get me wrong, like, I fall short and I be like, you know what, I want a planner, but at the end of the day, I also want sushi sometimes too. So it's just like the quality and the intention of how, like, budgeting, like, are we budgeting? A lot of people
feel as though, things are out of their reach, and you know, but they have money for everything else, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, it all comes down to what's important to you. I had this is so perfect because I just had this experience this week. Like, what is important to you? I started working, doing this new thing, right? And, you know, it definitely has value. It definitely could be absolutely lucrative. There's, you know, no doubt, but you have to like to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you have to be that type of person that is okay just working. And for me, I need more work-life balance.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise I'm not fulfilled. Now I'm cranky. I could probably do the job, but I'm going to be disgruntled, you know? Like, that's not fun. Yeah. Sometimes a sacrifice is worth it, but that would be a lifestyle. Yeah. You know, that wouldn't be a sacrifice. That'd be a lifestyle. And I'm like, no, you know, that doesn't really fit who I am.
Right.
You know? So.
And I think that's what it goes back to, your willpower. Because if you're doing something like, and one thing that I realized, like when I was doing City Year in New York, like we were getting a stipend, we were getting like food stamps, we were getting certain things, like, and, you know, we would walk around with our red jackets and our khakis and our Timbs. But it was the experience, getting to talk to the kids, getting to know what they're about, improving their lives. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like working at a regular job that is just like burning me out. And I'm just like, I don't think this is how it's supposed to be. So I'm having a talk with God, like, God, I don't 9 to 5.
We gotta figure this out.
Like, I don't think it is. So I think it's more about like the intention. And once you find like what you really like doing, and one thing I realized I really like doing is talking to the youth. I really like doing like
find
writing.
a way to get paid doing it.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's
so
the
I
key.
just saw like a songwriters program that they're doing. So I want to incorporate that, because kids, they want to be able to let some stuff out besides, you know, just like hearing certain music. And the music is motivating them. It's like, it's hyping them up. You know, it's some type of workout, you know, they get it. So it's just like that is their way of getting it out. But like, if I was to incorporate like writing or like the financial stability, because like, don't get me wrong,
we need financial literacy out here. It's really bad. You know, Kevin Hart even said something about it once in an interview not too long ago. And my whole thing is like, bro, if you know it's a problem and you came from here and you understand that that could really change a community, please invest in it.
Right, but then that goes back to like what Tupac said. He said, how can you have a person that has trillions and trillions of dollars and you got all these homeless people? How do we balance that out? Because it's just like, yeah, their family could work hard for it, but if you're ignorant to it and you don't have that opportunity where, like, you know, the terminology when it comes to finances and how to have two separate accounts and one's a savings, or how to, you know, be introduced into cryptocurrency, you're going to fall in the same ancestral loop that your family did. And it's not because of like, okay, I can't. Well, some of it is I can't night this, or I can't do this because of this, or I can't do that. When that fire or that flame is ignited underneath you, you can do some things under some pressure. You can do some things. So it's just like, how do we fit the balance of like, okay, all right, I got to take care of mine, but at the same time, I want us to elevate, because we're struggling with that.
Right.
That's
why I said some people are kind of stuck in the sense of they really just have seen it generation after generation and accept that that's just how it is.
Right.
And the other thing is, that's hard for people to break out of their generational curses like that, is because they stay with their family. They never, it's like a dependent cycle. It's codependency, cycle of codependency for everybody. The older people, the younger people, sometimes the older people have the younger people go work and they feel obligated to stay in the home to help out. You know, at some point, yes, I agree, as long as everything's healthy. And it all makes sense for everybody. But you know, like, at what point are you going to, like you said, be adventurous, explore, you know, have experiences, and because that's the only way you're going to change things.
And then you'll find other, like, I'm just looking at it. You'll find other cultures, and they'll come in and they'll rock together in a whole house for a whole year, and they're just stacking and hustling. And next thing you know, poof, they got their own restaurant. You're like, how the hell did that happen? That's supposed to be us. Like, it's small things. Like, but I understand everybody's like, okay, I think this is right for me. But some people are looking at the whole. Like, how are we all going to eat? And I think it's smarter to look at the whole opposed to just looking at it by yourself. Yeah, there's people out there that have, like, patent ideas and things have blown up, but there's ideas that family oriented seeds that exploded. The next thing you know, they're taking over Philly. You're like, what in the world? So it's like, you can't get envious, you can't get jealous or anything like that. You have to see.
You have to be inquisitive, right?
Yeah.
And say, hey, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
Or how can we do that?
Yeah.
Hey, is there anybody interested in doing this? I saw them do this. Like, you know. Takes one.
Yeah, it definitely does. But they did a test on it where they actually had 2 different wines and they had a price tag on it. One was worth like $500 and the other one was worth $75. And they're going around there testing this wine. They're like, oh my God, this one, I like this one. It's really exquisitive. It's tasteful. And then by the time it was the same price. So it's basically like the energy.
Was it the same wine?
It was the same wine.
It was the same wine. You do 2 different price tags just to see how people would react.
And people were just excited about it. They were just like, but it was
they were doing something expensive.
It was the idea behind it, and it's like, come on, y'all. Like, it's not everything has to be like the price tag, and I think we fall short of the ignorance behind the money. So we're gonna be talking about soon cryptocurrency because that is the future of money. As you can see, I don't know if you've been seeing like the stores saying there's no coins, exact change.
Yeah, they've had that up for the past year, I guess. Or
yeah, so I think
stores,
and I think a lot of people have a tendency to be like, okay, all right, we don't have exact change. What does that mean? What does that mean behind it? So it's just like we have to be aware of where the future of cryptocurrency is going, because the banks are no longer, if you look in the future, they're no longer going to be, if cryptocurrency is going to knock them out because of the cryptocurrency being that they have a blockchain to be able to secure your money. You will be your banker. You will be the teller, but with certain information, you'll be able to set seeds up and tell your kids on how to be aware of just playing certain video games that will give you cryptocurrency, or using certain websites will give you certain cryptocurrency. So it's just like the future is not tomorrow, it's now, and we have to be aware.
Star on Wednesday nights on the B2G podcast, she talks a lot about that stuff, the crypto, the meta, the this, the that, and I was on her show and we're talking about this new metaverse. You know how people are buying up real estate in the metaverse and all these other things, and
buying planets. Yeah, it's kind of,
so it's strange, but people are so interested in like the next game type thing, right? Yeah, they're always so, I want to do it too, I want to play, I want to this, so here we are.
Yeah, but I think that goes back to like the dream world and financial freedom, being able to go and tap into that virtual reality and say, well, my world's not like that. Let me switch it up. Let me add this. Like, I saw a preview of Biggie being in the metaverse, and that was scary. How detailed it was. They were driving around and he was like, what's up? How you doing? And I was like, oh, it just looks so real. So it's just like, that is a way that we can like, okay, free our minds, but at the same time we have to be, once again, go to the earth element, what we value. And it's just like, yeah, we can tap into that, but do we really want to get too lost in the metaverse where it's just like, okay, I'm buying this and I'm buying that, but what about the outside
there's gonna be people that do it. Believe somebody's always got to go to the extreme. Yeah,
I guess that they want the experience, but deep down inside they might be living in the box outside, living it up. But it's not saying that it's wrong, nothing wrong with it, but that is the experience of it. But once it goes back to, what do you truly value? Because if I know for a fact I gotta hold down the fort, I have kids and stuff like that, mommy ain't gonna be thinking about getting the metaverse stuff like that. Mommy's gonna be worried about, how do I put this food on the table, because the metaverse ain't gonna do it. I'm pretty sure you can eat in the metaverse, but when that stomach starts,
you want eat baby. Isn't that what they say? You want eat baby.
So it just goes back to what we truly value. What do we accept or we put as a priority? Because I know for a fact, like me, I love clothes. I'd rather make them myself. So it's like I'd rather go to a place or go to a lesson where I actually get taught how to make it. I feel like sometimes the fabric, it don't bless me the way I want it to. So I just feel like, how do I take the time out to be like, all right, I want to do that. And this is just an example. I want to do this. I want to make clothes. I will have to take some type of money out or work a little harder and understand this is a goal. This is what I have to set for the month or so, which we can do it. But I think a lot of times the canitis, I can't do this because of that, or I can't do that. And I think it's the,
I like that, canitis.
I think it's the fearfulness of us like jumping into the unknown, and it's not being stabled as you want it to be. But a lot of your big billionaires did that. They took the leap of faith, and you got Amazon, you got Gateway, you got Google. Somebody just taking the time out and say, well, one day this will be bigger than, everybody foresees it, and they're foreshadowing. So it's like, we have to realize the purpose of value, which is diamonds. Like, diamonds take a long time to be made through the friction of, underground and the sun, and it creates these beautiful gemstones and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking to Quentin today, and he is, I call him the specialist when it comes to cryptocurrency. If you don't know anything about it, he takes the time out so well to demonstrate it, to give you details. And I feel like I've been mining with Pi. That's a cryptocurrency that Stanford University has developed, and we're finally about to get a wallet. So I'm just excited about that.
I need a terminology sheet here. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Listen, fear is false evidence appearing real, right? Because you're scared of something that hasn't happened. So is it real?
Yeah, I think we make it so heavier than what it seems when it's coming from the subjective, which is it's light energy, it's chaotic energy. But I guess when you're ignorant to it, then you have all those doubts like, no, you can't do it. It's just easier to just do this. You comfortable doing this, and that stuff starts to fall in. But sometimes you'll get one person that will say something to you, and you'll be like, oh, that kind of hurt my feelings. All right, that gave me a little bit of power. They gave me a little willpower to keep pushing on and stuff like that to change. It's one person that I know for a fact. He was like, I was tired of just working 9 to 5. I got my CDL. Now I drive trucks. And he took the time out to just study it and put money towards that. And now he's in school, and now he doesn't have he's blessed off of the fact that he took that chance to be like, okay, I need to level up. And I leveled up in the most financial successful way, or the most confident way to keep money abundantly, by just placing that seed. So we're going to be talking to Quentin very soon when it comes to cryptocurrency.
I'm going to actually play your track while you get him on the jack. Hey!
Yes, we're talking about the earth element, money. All right, I'm gonna mute you for a second, but I'm about to connect you. Okay, my love. Okay.
You know I'm still gon' shine, If you about to come up, you gon' grind. Cause I got money all up in my mind. And I ain't even tryna waste no time, oh no. Take the weed and leave the money.
He hanging like a dummy.
And I can tell that 12 is slipping for the honey. So I'm sneaking out the back, cause I know they want me. All that money falling down. You can bezel on that crown. Cause it's all mine.
Want the whole pie, no split.
I get wicked visuals when I listen to this part. Somebody be like pulling their pockets right out, like, damn girl.
Yes. Money. We're talking about the earth element. The earth. What you value is them diamonds. It's them red bottoms. It's those purses. It's those cars. You're driving far. What you value. That's what we talking about. Money, money, money make the world go around, baby. And now we have Q. I call him Q, but his name is Quentin, right? I call him the specialist. Why? Because anytime when I first started diving into pi and mining to it, I was like, what in the world is this? I tried to look it up. So I was like, okay, that's cool, but I need somebody to break this stuff down to me because it's sounding like wah, 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 wah.
Right.
So by him just dropping it like, well, this is this is that, I was like,
right, like I said, we need some terminology. We need you to break it down. Hey, yes. Q, what's up, man?
Can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us?
You got your volume up all the way.
Yeah, I got the volume up. I'm just trying to make sure everything is connected. Can you hear me?
Need some resuscitation. Q. Earth to Q.
Well, I did connect it. Hold on now. Hold on.
We are connected.
Hold on, let's try again. Because I'm optimistic and we need...
it's going to work.
We need this following information for the city. Why? Because we are going into a paperless society and we need to be aware of...
Where are all the coins going?
Yeah.
Why is there a shortage? Why do I keep seeing this message?
Can you hear me now? Hello.
We got the volume. We can always just put it on speakerphone. Hopefully, check it out.
Hello, can you hear?
I can.
Alrighty. For some reason, I don't know why.
The aux cord is acting up, I guess. It's the iPhones. No. They're the best, baby.
Yeah, but... Okay, good. Alright, I guess I could, if anything... Can you just test it out? Can you introduce yourself to the world?
Okay, hi. How are you guys doing? My name is Quentin Wright. I'm an entrepreneur in business, and I own my own business in crypto and home improvement. This is pretty much where I started out for at least 30 years now. And I've been in crypto for at least 3 years so far.
Okay, so what is crypto? If you don't mind me asking, what is it?
Turn it all the way up. It's down. Hold on there, Q.
Hold on.
Mr. Quentin, sir.
I don't know what... I've turned it all the way up.
That's okay. We'll go back to speakerphone.
Okay. So, can you just basically drop the knowledge of, like, what is cryptocurrency? And I apologize when it comes to the aux cord. So, what is it?
It's basically digital currency. It has allowed us to get rid of the intermediaries of banking. As to break it down, you know how it costs so much to actually send money across the world to people we like and do commerce. What this does is takes the middleman out and allows the regular people to become banks in a way, and it's done by a thing we call a consensus.
Hold on. Speaking of consensus, let's consent that we're going to switch the conversation to Rose phone, and let's see if it works. We're just trying to make sure we're all on one accord.
Absolutely.
I just need you to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I hear you.
Ding dong.
So basically, saying cryptocurrency will eliminate the middleman. You will become the bank. You will become the teller. You don't have to worry about. All right.
It's also wealth distribution as well.
Okay.
And we do see that the dollar is being inflated enormously.
Hold on, Q. We're going to finish this. We're going to do this right. Let me dial it again.
If you want her to probably call me back as soon as possible, I'll answer her call.
All right, cool. All righty, awesome. All right. Okay, thank you.
You call me back.
Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna get this down. So cryptocurrency, which eliminates basically the middleman. No worry.
I need more information, absolutely, because this crypto stuff, everyone says crypto, Bitcoin, this, that, the third. You know, if you are listening and you want to tune in, check us out. We are live on YouTube right now. Go ahead to type in Glockware and hit the live link.
You hear me now, right?
Yes. Oh,
thank
you. Okay, so let's start this over from the jump. I apologize on that behalf. So introduce yourself again, my love. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. So my name is Quentin Wright, and I'm an entrepreneur in cryptocurrencies, and I had my start as a carpenter for 30 years, and I've been in crypto for at least 3 years. And yeah. Okay, and I've just been learning and want to show you guys.
How did you get into cryptocurrency?
Well,
right from carpentry, right? That's different. It's both earth elements.
That's true.
Well, I do many things. So, it was my brother that actually got me into it because I was just searching online for applications to earn money, basically work at home things, and there were ads on the application I was looking at, and that's how I really got introduced to it, because it told me to download an app and earn crypto. So once that happened, I had to read everything and researched everything about what crypto was.
I want to know what crypto is. What's this crypto business?
Earn from home?
Right.
Okay. And all I got to do is provide this, that, and the third. Yep. Of course, with Pi Network, that wasn't even out yet. So I kept learning about what crypto was to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so what is crypto again?
Right.
What is crypto?
What crypto is it gives the ability of commerce back to the people, and we're not going through the middleman, as they would tax our transactions at enormous rates.
So dumb that down for all of us.
Basically, it allows you to send your money or your valuables to another country where our country would not allow it. As you can see in Ukraine, we can't transact between them and Russia, things like that. So what it allows is basically for us to bypass that and do it on our own. It's called peer-to-peer transactions.
So is that kind of like, might not be a great example, but let's try it. Like phone cards, right? Phone cards to other countries, we can call places we wouldn't normally be able to call.
Yes.
Originally, like back in the day when they first came out.
Yes, and now it's gotten to the point where we're doing finances in that way.
Okay.
Right? So what crypto is, it's a program that runs on a computer and that becomes decentralized, ran by the people. And it brings back the trust within it doesn't give a single person the say-so to make a transaction. Like, how banks can block transactions and things like that if they deem you, whatever they say.
So there's absolutely no laws.
Well, it's built, the way it's built, it gives the computer the trust. And now we trust the computer to make the correct transactions.
So now on Bitcoin, if it were a physical thing, it would say, in computer we trust.
Right.
Well, pretty much, yeah. So
okay.
The way it works is like, a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto developed a computer program where the computers have to hash out an enormously mathematical equation to produce the correct transactions in a block, which is why they call it blockchain now, because that's the underlying programming of it.
About to get in my
But also,
let's go.
Isn't there a secured way by having a certain amount of words that make sure that you have to keep that secure, so no one will be able to access certain things? You just can't just go into cryptocurrency and say, "Oh, I'm going to take this or take that." It's levels to it. So by having the blockchain, you also have about 30 to 31 security words that you must have. You must place those in order, or you won't receive nothing. So it's just, you are the lock.
Wait. So how do we earn these things?
Okay, so earning in crypto is basically running what they call a node on your computer, hashing out the blocks that you produce and validating the transactions.
So usually, is this what mining is?
This is what they call mining. Yes, correct.
Okay. So your box makes a computer code and
hashes out computer code between each other.
I like how you say hatch out. It gives me the visual of an egg being hatched.
Right.
And a little coin popping out.
Well, it is in that way a form, yes. So,
okay, so you hatch these codes, and then do you also decipher these codes?
Well, the computer just does all the computing power of it.
And so they're then deciphered, and you get paid for deciphering them?
Yes. When you decipher the codes, you also putting the transactions that happen at this moment into a block, and then you basically all the computers come to a consensus. Okay, this is the block that we found.
Like Tetris?
Out. Well, yes, it would be like building a block.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then they get distributed to the people who are mining.
So what do they do with them? Like, what is the purpose of you hatching these things and deciphering them and get paid to do it? Like, what do they do with them after that?
Well, they collect the coins because it's basically getting paid to keep the network of transactions flowing.
What are these transactions for?
Buying, selling, as you see on the stock markets, is just the transactions need to be validated.
Well,
usually right now, it is only a few companies and the government that validates the transactions. One person, and they would have to say if the transaction goes through or not, and if somebody's trying to cheat it. We have now made the computer program to do that without it being humanly driven and corrupt.
But wait a minute. This is just all pretend money.
But once again,
it's not pretend money because you value transactions because it's goods and services.
But
it's just really like it's making this block, which is a virtual block of codes, and you're getting paid for it. And then they take those codes, those blocks, and they sell them to somebody else. And this is now you just made money from something that didn't happen in a physical sense.
Correct.
Right, but originally
the concept is really
energy, though. That's
interesting.
That's energy, and the more people put energy behind it, the more that it'll be of value.
Correct. The fact that you have people there always gives you the value, because
and then
we
if
already
you have
now base our time and energy.
If you do have a lot of money, so if you do have a lot of money, the blockchain is able to convert that money into whether it's yen or pesos or CDs without them being like, hold on, I don't know what this is. This is an artificial intelligence that can speak multiple languages, know different currencies, but it's the energy behind it, you know? Like the debit cards, technically, that's a debit card. That is a transaction that everybody believes, and it's not a currency.
Right.
You don't see people walk around with the cards like, hey. So people put energy behind it, and since we are going into like a higher, fast-paced websites,
there is also another valued system that's built in it, meaning the scarcity value. diamonds are very valuable because it is very hard to come by, correct? And just as gold and raw materials, that's why we put a value to it. With cryptocurrency, everything else, well, first, everything else in this world is inflationary, meaning that you can still add to it, as we see by the dollar. You can continually print dollars, you can still continually mine gold, you can still continually mine diamonds. Those are inflationary assets. Crypto, on the other hand, is now the first deflationary asset. So with Bitcoin, there will only be 21 million Bitcoin, right? So that just in itself saying it's valuable because there's only going to be this limited amount. And because it's actually, it at first, someone had to actually get something for having Bitcoin. That was done way, way back in the birth of Bitcoin, which somebody spent 10,000 coins for 2 pizzas, 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. That's how they had to initiate what was going on and had that it was valuable. And now more and more people were saying, oh, I can actually get something for these coins too.
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
Then it got listed on the market for a certain dollar amount, and people would trade, and more people would gain it and gain it. Understand that, oh, it is worth value. That's why we see Bitcoin hit $65,000 per Bitcoin. Go ahead.
This reminds me of either solar mining or wind mining, because you can't see the sun generate, or you can't see the air generate. So you're generating, off of energy, like you said.
Yes.
And making money. It's so strange.
And because we can validate the transactions that go on, also provides a value to it.
But remember, people have to believe. Once you get enough amount of people to believe, it becomes real. It has to become objective.
Well, listen. Physical money is not real. I mean, it's real, but they can always, they can always print more, right? Yeah. They're the ones who limit it.
The first thing is, back in 1976 or 70s, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. So that means we are literally believing in the dollar and its value. So we're just really
with nothing back behind it.
Numbers in a bank. Numbers in a bank are just numbers, right? The money is not really there.
Right. It could be shells, and we give value to shells, which we did in the past as well.
Yeah, facts.
So now the next thing is crypto, but its operation is actually on the valued side instead of the devaluing side of things, of finance.
So it's like collecting baseball cards, and they're limited. Obviously, they're limited. They become very valuable.
But the baseball cards can buy you anything.
And this stuff can only buy
not just the U.S. dollar. This is going to be what she was talking about, Pi Network. Now there's a new emergence of cryptos. Bitcoin was the first, and it's been 10 years. All other cryptos besides this one has followed Bitcoin's path. Now, 10 years has gone by, and we've seen there's actually a flaw in Bitcoin. It's called the proof of work and being listed on exchanges. These are 2 negative parts of the crypto.
So what does that mean?
We didn't catch. So that means, So that means, proof of work is the system that provides that Bitcoin is built on. Basically, back into the tech world, the computers are actually fighting against each other to find the next block, to make the next transaction so they can get the Bitcoin.
Okay, so the computers are in a boxing match.
Right, it's like Mr. Pac-Man, probably.
Basically trying to hash out this mathematical code. Whoever gets it first gets the block reward, which is 6 Bitcoin, 6.25 Bitcoin.
So they're having a whole video game behind the scenes.
Right. So the problem with this now is they notice that, and if you have a bigger computer mainframe, your computer is hashing out faster than everybody else's. So then the corporations can now then buy gigantic mining farms.
Yeah.
And
they have big rooms
Bitcoin.
that just host computers.
No, not just rooms. They have facility warehouses size, full of computers, top-notch computers, and taking the Bitcoin from everybody else. Cryptocurrency was built
for the small guy
distribution as well.
Was it originally for the small guy?
Yes.
Okay.
The peer-to-peer transaction.
Yeah, this sounded evil.
Exactly
big corporations.
I mean, it was genius. 2 pizzas. You thought that, okay, I can have this much amount of money and this much amount of Bitcoins, and now
if he would have held it, he would have had $80 million.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
OMG. How do we get this stuff?
Now, wait. The what you want to get is this new crypto that has learned about the problem. It's called Pi Network. This provides distribution fairly first, and then so it has there's a different protocol to find the blocks. It's called the consensus protocol, SCP, Stellar Consensus Protocol, which the protocol means the computers all have to send messages to each other very fast in seconds and come to a consensus of what the next block is. They're not fighting against each other. They're working with each other. Mm-hmm. So that in itself gives this crypto the better hands up on it, and it's the only one right now.
They're the only one that has teamwork,
right?
So they said, "Listen, we're going to make the dream work."
Right. And now, we all can eat.
So what they're developing is the fair distribution. All you have to do is download the app on your phone. It's economically sound. It's what is it? With the climate, and you know how Bitcoin has to use a lot of computer power, electricity. Mm-hmm. This one, it does not.
Can you do it on your phone?
Mm-hmm. It's right on your phone.
So you just use your data. You don't have to buy a computer. It doesn't all that business.
Yeah. You can just go on Wi-Fi. You don't even need all that.
Listen.
Once you just press a button and you close it, doesn't drain your battery or anything.
How much of a check do I get off this?
Well, I'm coming to that. Trust me, we're coming to that.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to it, good brother.
And I think I've been mining about like 4 or 5 years now. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
No. Oh, you've been mining because it was actually developed in 2019. So we've been mining for like 3 years.
Okay, I feel like it's been forever.
The development of Pi Network has
now is it Pi like piece of the pie or 3.14?
3.1415.9, and then it goes on forever.
Right. Okay. Got it.
That is a model that is incorporated in Pi too, as far as the pricing, which I'll get to again. So when you get what Pi is supposed to be used for is goods and services first. So when you mine Pi, you can go out and start buying the things you're trying to use USD dollar for anyway. The car, the house, the phone, the laptop, the electricity,
so all earth things, material things.
We're saying all things, goods and services. That means from the ground metals all the way up to the tech giants and things that you want, food included.
Okay.
It's already built a ecosystem for where people are going to be accepting Pi for goods and services. All the things I've mentioned. There's many websites popping up, corporations around the world that are going to be accepting Pi and things like that. And
yeah, I've seen at some little stores even in the city that says accept Bitcoin.
That for Bitcoin, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I see the whole point is I see the people accepting the currency.
Yes, exactly. So with Pi, we're accepting goods and services, and the community decides what price it is.
Wait a minute. Can it change?
Absolutely.
So it's like...
It could change, yes. But now it changes according to how we value our Pi.
So what's this, like the NASDAQ of coin?
It's like the world of coin. It's bigger than the stock exchange because it's encompassing all 199 countries and within this.
So who gets to decide? I know you said the people, but now you said everybody across the world is going to be able to use it in, you know.
The using of Pi is how we are going to be saying what the price is. So there are basically merchants and people accepting pi for their goods. We know what the dollar amount is of the good, and now we are going to assign how much pi am I going to spend to get these goods. And now we've come to a consensus. And, the merchants have been talking. We've been holding conferences.
Yeah, this Saturday that just passed.
UN people. What is it? News reporters have been within these conferences too, and they understand that we've now come to a consensus of $314,000, $159, basically pi, $3.14159 per pi. Now, that's like saying for a dollar item, a piece of candy that costs $1, I only have to pay 0.000001 pi for that.
So sweet.
That's how we decide what price we want.
I'm rich.
The price of pi.
Right, basically. And like I had an opportunity to actually listen to one of the conferences this past Saturday, and it was amazing that it was so many people that was supporting all over the world, and they had their translators, and it was like Asian countries, and you had African countries, you had European countries,
Malaysia,
and I was just like,
Europe,
my,
USA,
and
Canada.
it went on for like 3 hours. Everybody's just saying, yeah, we support pi. We're going to, this is what I'm bringing to the table, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, just to hear that, the more people that are coming together, and they're saying it's a revolutionary type of coin.
Right?
Yes.
They've been saying that.
Also for understanding, what was I going to say?
About the conferences, about the
0.01, whatever, 3.14. Oh yeah, so listen, how much have you made? Like, not how much have you made, but how much? Yeah, do you get paid monthly to mine these things?
So for mining, you mine every day. So every second, the number ticks up. So you mine every day. And
okay, so what's the average at the end of a week?
So
what would the average kind of get back from this?
Currently, because it's a deflationary asset, the mining rate gets cut in half depending on how many people join the network. So right now, averaging, it'll take you about 3 months to gain about 200 pi.
And what can 200 pi buy? You said 3 months to do that?
Well, think about it.
I just want to get my facts straight, folks. So 3 months that's what you said, right?
Sorry.
Hey, Q.
What's going on?
Okay, there we go. Right. So 3 months to mine 300 pi.
About 100 to 300, depending on your earning team and different aspects of you earning.
Okay. So what can you buy with 100?
Well, if you have one pi that's equaling $314,000, you tell me.
Yeah.
Well then.
Right.
And you got 100 of those?
The thing about it is, the mining rate does get cut in half, which creates scarcity, which also creates the pi value going up. So as we go along month by month, the mining rate gets cut. You'll earn less, but
it's like
you will also get more value for that less as well. So you will always be able to be self-sustained. The mission statement of Pi Network is inclusion. Is inclusion into crypto. Everybody should be included.
3,000.
So
300.
That's basically Pi Network.
And I can go buy a house with that. I can go buy things.
Yes, because as you can see, if when people see people getting things with Pi,
they're gonna want to do it too.
They're gonna want to do it too.
They're gonna want to do it.
Listen, watch me.
The corporations are going to want to do it. The realtors,
I want to do
Amazon, Walmart, all these people are going to want to join into Pi because they can see they can value these things. They can actually set the value that they want, and it's consistent by transaction.
Oh my goodness.
Those transactions are easily done depending on how you value it.
Right.
But you also have to take into effect of how much pie people have. So the merchants are going to go according to how much pie people have. If they don't have that much, then the price of pie goes up. When the mining rate gets halved, they're not going to have that much, so the price of pie goes up, so people can make transactions. The businesses want to sell you at a low pie price because that incentivizes a lot of business with their company. And yes, you can transfer to the U.S. dollar. That's called the open network, which we're all headed to now. So pie has been not put out on the exchanges, so the big fish can just buy it all. We're doing that in the barter system where we dictate the price.
All right.
Unlike any other, there's no other crypto like that.
No.
Ever. And to give you an example of the valuing system of crypto, you see what Bitcoin has been, $65,000 per Bitcoin.
Wow.
And there's only 17 million, so-called 17 million users on Bitcoin. Pi Network already has basically, I think we're up to 40 million people plus. So that already means that the Pi coin should be at least Bitcoin and above.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, bottom line is,
that's
bottom line is, get into this crypto business, get into this, learn about it, and thank you for your information because you allowed me to interrupt you and get some analogies and dumb it down so we could really understand it.
For sure. I'm gonna, of course, be having courses in my Telegram group if you want to learn about crypto and what Pi is too.
Where can folks find that?
I can shoot. It's a Telegram group called Pi Tech Communications.
All right.
So I'm sure Amelia could.
Also, what is your social media so that way you can link it up with that? Isn't it Technique?
My all across the board, pretty much Technique 82
So
on Facebook, Instagram. Where else? Twitter.
Yeah. So basically with that too, the last thing I will say with about being on a team or having a team where you're mining with, like they will let you know, like, hey, you need to mine. Like if you haven't mined in a while, they'll
remind you
right to mine. So that's the great thing about it, having a team. Like
cool. Okay. So could we be teammates?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll talk about that. Listen. Thanks, Q. Check out Quentin Wright for more information on crypto.
For sure. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you. So, absolutely. If you've missed any part of this broadcast of the X Radio, we talked about some Earth, we talked about crypto, we talked about all that good stuff. So go ahead and go to YouTube, type in Glockaware, and look for the latest episode of the X Radio.
Yes, minding your mind. Okay,
right. I need to go check this out now. Go check out Pi.
It's awesome. It really is.
Until next week. Peace out.
Peace.
All right, peace.